please put your hands together and help me welcome the one and only Odell Bizzell.
My check. Everybody, you should have a $100 bill. I'm using air quotes. You should have a $100 bill on your table. What I want you to do really quick, you should also have a penny. That's real. You can keep that and use it in real life. I want you to hold up the $100 bill. Hold up the $100 bill. Hold up the $100 bill. There it is. Hold up the penny. Hold up the penny. All right. All right. Now, I'm going to ask you a series of questions. You can put it down. Thank you. I'm going to ask you a series of questions. These are not, everybody say not. These are not trick questions. Okay? Which one is bigger, the $100 bill or the penny? The $100 bill. Not trick questions. Not. It's real. Which one, if the $100 bill was real, is worth more? Which one's worth more? All right. Now I'm going to ask somebody to come up here and do an illustration with me, really quick. Somebody, brave person, whoever meets eyes. Is it you? Is it you? Yep, you did it. Come on up here. Come on up here. Y'all give her some love. It's early, y'all. It's early. What's your name? Tiara. Good to meet you. I'm Odell. Bada bing, bada boom. There you go. All right. So you have in your hand, that's a real $100.
Yep, this is real.
That's a real. So you felt the difference. All right. So there you go.
Okay.
So I want to ask, again, no trick questions. Y'all think that I'm trying to trick you. I'm not trying to trick you, okay? Which one's worth more? Which one's bigger? All right, y'all are smart. Y'all are educated. I'm going to ask you another question. Not a trick question. Can you cover up the $100 bill with the penny? Yes or no? Who says no? Raise your hands. Can you cover it up? Like, so whereas I can't see, without folding it, without doing anything weird or wonky to it, putting it in water or anything like that? No. No. Who says no? Let me see your hands. Put your hands up. You cannot. All right. This is why I'm here. All right, cool. So, I want you to do this. You can, absolutely, cover up a $100 bill with a penny. I'm going to show you how to do it. It's going to be a quick sleight of hand. All right? You ready? Everybody, and you do this with me. Get your $100 bill, put it in your left hand. Put it in your left hand. Hold it up. You do. Hold it up. Can you still see the $100 bill? Yep. All right. Everybody grab your penny. Grab your penny. Close your left eye. Close your left eye. Put the penny right in front of your right eye. Right in front. Get closer. Get closer. Hold it closer. Hold it close. Can you see it? Can you see the $100? You can't see it. Give her a round of applause. Give her a round of applause. Yeah, you can keep it. You can keep it. You can keep it. You can keep it. You can buy a bunch of raffle tickets with that. That's a real one. See what happens when you engage in all that good stuff. Yes.
We just got halfway to our goal.
Round of applause. Round of applause. So, why did I do that? Well, I did that because of this. The $100 bill represents our future. It represents the dreams, the goals, the things that we aspire to have. And our future is so bright. It's so great. But many times, we trip over the pennies in our lives, the obstacles. Some of them really, really big, but not bigger than our future. And a lot of times when we start to get distracted and we block our vision, that's why I said cover up one eye. We block our vision. So we're only seeing about halfway what we can truly see. And then those distractions get really, really close. Then if somebody were to ask you, hey, do you have dreams? I'm like, I can't really see them anymore. So I'll just look at this penny. and that'll be my life. The last couple of years, we had a really big penny. A really big penny. The pandemic penny, that's what I call it. The pandemic penny. Really, really big. And now we're back. And how we're going to bring this full circle for everybody listening, for everybody watching. Don't ever let a penny distract you from your destiny. If you're going to do that, everybody say aye. Aye. All right, so I'm here to talk about, let's see how we're going to do this. Where is my tech help? If I share, will they still be able to see it? Maybe, hopefully. I don't know. Okay, hopefully. We'll see. Technology, baby.
Odell.
Nope, don't want to say that again. So, think about what pennies you have in your eyes. Think about that. And also, I want you to think about this. The more you grow, the more the people around you will have the opportunity and the ability to grow. That means your students, that means your colleagues, that means everybody in this room. So your growth is critical to helping everybody else. Now, before today, how many of you have never heard of me before? Shoot your hands up. Never heard of me before. That is, wow. I really keep thinking I'm more famous than that, but I guess I'm not. It's all good. You've heard of me now. But before we start, we're going to be talking about some halfway heavy things, legacy, dreams, goals, and how you can be a better professional, all that cool stuff. But I believe before we get into the heavy, you got to know me a little bit. You got to get to know about my dreams. When I was a kid, I had a dream. Wasn't deep like Dr. King's dream. I just wanted to go to the NBA. All right? How many of y'all remember your childhood dreams? You remember those things? And you're like, wow, I thought I was going to go to the NBA. Here's proof. My AAU team won a national championship right before I went to high school. If you know anything about the NBA, everybody that you see in the NBA played AAU. And so 14 years old, won a national championship. Just to give you some context, I graduated high school the same time as a guy, you might have heard of him, LeBron James. You heard of him? Graduated same year, played AAU tournaments against him, Chris Paul, Carmelo Anthony. So I'm like, yo, I got a shot, right? I have a shot. And my dad, being the great father that he is and was, told me after this picture, after we're in the papers, after we're getting interviewed, I said, Dad, your baby boy's going to the NBA. Get ready, get ready. And he said, son, you have a better chance of getting struck by lightning twice than you do of going to the NBA. You need a better plan. I don't want to hear that as a teenager, and I wanted the money. Y'all, I didn't have no pennies distracting me. I wanted the money. I wanted it all. And that was the only way I could think about getting money. And my dad told me something very, very poignant and pertinent. He said, son, you can make more with your mind than you can with your body. But I still, you know how teenagers are. Okay, Dad, yeah, that's fine for you. You're old. Think I can make it. But I didn't. And I felt like a failure. How many people in here you can confidently say that you tried something really, really hard and it didn't work? Let me see those hands. You tried something really, really hard. That relationship, thought it was going to work out, thought y'all was going to be together forever, ever, 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 and it didn't work out. That job, I'm going to retire here. Nope. I'll get that promotion. Nope. We've all been there. And I experienced that really early. And really, I just wanted to make my parents proud. We didn't have a lot growing up. My mom, she immigrated from West Africa. My dad, Air Force veteran, the oldest, thank you. And I'll tell him that you did that and he'll be like, yeah. But anyway, oldest of my parents' kids, I just wanted to make them proud. I wanted to be that person. And I felt like a failure. But sometimes, everybody say sometimes. Sometimes our failure leads us to our greatest success. And so I graduated, went to NC State, North Carolina. I'm from North Carolina, by the way. I don't know if y'all can tell by my twang in my voice a little bit. But went to NC State, graduated, and you would think that with the graduation, with the degree in hand, that I didn't feel like a failure anymore. I did, because when I graduated right at the beginning of what's called the Great Recession now. No jobs. Went to school 4 years, got some student loan debt. I say that out loud, lots of student loan debt. So I got the best job that I could. I worked for the Guilford County Sheriff's Department. And I can confidently say that I hated it. I hated it. And not because law enforcement, military is in my family, not because of that, but because I knew I was operating below my potential. I knew ever since I set foot in the door. And I worked in the jail, y'all. I just want to paint this picture really quick before we get into it. I went to work at a jail where nobody wants to be in the first place. So think about that energy. Like, really don't want to be there. And then the people that are supervising you don't want to be there, but they've been there for so long that they feel like they have to be there. It was not a great place to work. But, everybody say but. I met somebody. Changed my life forever. And I hope and I believe that many of you in here will have this experience today. I met a mentor, and when I met him, I was not in a great place mentally. I was not in a great place because I was somewhere that I didn't want to be. I met him. He said a few words. I want you to jot these down if you're into taking notes. If you want to remember, it's all good. He said, perfected passion produces prosperity. Perfected passion produces prosperity. 4 words, changed my life forever. And when he said that, I was like, ooh, that's good. I like that. How do we go deeper? And that's what we're going to do today. How do we go deeper into that? The work that you do, it's not just about money. I can read your eyes. I've worked with trio professionals long enough. It's not just about money. It's about something a lot deeper. So how do we go deeper into that? And I love this quote by William James. He said, the best use of one's life is to spend it on something that outlasted. The best use of one's life is to spend it on something that outlasted. And how do we make that plain? That's what I'm here to answer today. We make that plain by what we do, the people we serve. I've been blessed and fortunate to go all across this great nation to speak to hundreds of thousands of scholars in my career. And it was because I failed, y'all. It was because I was at a place where I didn't want to be. It was because I was quarantined to the pennies in my life. And so we're going to be talking about impact. Everybody say impact. All right, so first of all, I know we had a little tech issues before and all that stuff, so we're going to put some energy, some juice back in the room. I'm going to treat y'all like my Baptist preacher used to teach us back in the day. He said, the better you say amen, the quicker we'll be done, the more fun we'll all have. All right, amen? All right, amen? See, I'm going to get y'all. Y'all are good. I'm going to get y'all. So here we go. We're going to be talking about impact. 6 words. How many words? 6 words trio leaders must communicate. Life is all about communication. The more success you have in your life is dependent upon how well you communicate to you and others. And so I'm going to be giving you 6 words. It's going to be super easy to remember because we're using the word impact as an acronym. So every letter in the word stands for a word. So the I in impact stands for inspiration. Everybody say inspiration. Inspiration. I'm going to get y'all right here, right here. The M in impact stands for motivation. Everybody say motivation. Motivation. The P stands for purpose. Everybody say purpose. The A stands for action. Everybody say action. The C stands for courage. Everybody say courage. And the T stands for transformation. Say transformation. Let's get into it. So inspiration. You have to learn how to communicate inspiration, not just by what you say, but how you present yourself. Are people inspired when they see you walk in the room? Are people elated to see, oh, we're having a meeting? Oh, yes. Probably not. But how can you communicate it as a leader? And if you think of the word inspiration, I got this from a college student. You know, when you speak to students, they give you a lot of good information sometimes that they learn in school that they probably won't use ever again. But anyway, they use it, and this particular nugget is very powerful. The Latin root of the word inspiration is spirare. Spirare means breath. It means breath. And so inspiration literally means breath in. So what are you doing to put breath in other people, put life in other people? Think about that. There are different ways you can do it. There are different ways you get inspired. How do you get inspired? What inspires you? Just yell out something really quick. Get a couple people. What inspires you?
Demonstrating. People demonstrating it.
People demonstrating things that are inspirational. What else? What inspires you? What gets you going? Oh, yes. Children. What else? One more.
When I see growth.
Ah, I love it. Growth. Seeing growth. You want to know what inspired 15-year-old Odell? Just take a guess. Money. Basketball. That's two. There's one more. Hey, there it is. There it is. Now I was a popular kid in high school. I guess popularity is subjective, but I was starting point guard, played football, all that stuff. $1 million smile even back then. So I was popular, but I did not know how to communicate to the girls. Right? I had no idea what I was doing. There was this particular young lady in my marketing class. I sat behind her for 3 weeks. I didn't say anything. It was just kind of like, hey, yeah, we good. Everybody good. Everybody fine. Everybody going good. Didn't know what to say. You would not know that I was on the honor roll or anything. Just could not get the words. Until one day, everybody say one day. Ooh, one day she had on these headphones. She gave me an inside track. She had on headphones. She was listening to music. And she was just getting it. I was like, okay, you can ask her what she's listening to. She can't reject that. So I tapped her on the shoulder. She turned around, told me what she was listening to. It scared me. It scared me. She said, oh, I'm listening to that Ready to Die. Now, I'm black. I don't know if you saw that. Like, I'm black. Teenager, 2000s. You would probably listen to what? It's okay. Probably listen to rap. Probably. Maybe. Possibly. I at least know what rap is. I didn't know what she was talking about. I had no idea. I was raised underneath my grandma's thumb in the church. Wasn't allowed to listen to that devil music. Like, wasn't allowed to listen to it. So, and this was before YouTube and all that stuff. So she was like, I'm listening to Ready to Die. I'm like, what is she talking about? And she knew that I was confused. It's like, Ready to Die, you know, Biggie Smalls. And I'm like, wait, is he big or is he small? Like, what do you mean? What's happening? But I had to keep a straight face because she, you know, she was, like, okay, yeah. Just shaking my head like somebody speaking a different language in front of you. Like, yeah, go east, west, north. So she asked me this question. She said, do you want to borrow my CD? What did I say, everybody? Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Because now I have a plan. See, now I'll go listen to the CD. To get the CD back, she got to come to me. So I took it home, listened to it like I had a final, and I listened to it. Listen to it. Oh, God. The words. Oh, my virgin ears weren't ready. Weren't ready. For those of you who's ever heard of Biggie Smalls before, you can be honest. Oh, wow. What did I walk into, Mike? And I'm just playing. I'm joking. So Biggie Smalls, he was not a Christian rapper. He was not. So listening to the music at first, it was a shock. It was like, oh my gosh. But I don't know what happened. I loved it. Like, I don't like the first time I listened, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he's talking about. I feel you, Biggie. Like, it's just like a trip. Man, I get you. I understand. Times is hard, right? And there was a particular song on there called Give Me the Loot. Again, we're talking about inspiration. I promise I'm going to get to it. But give me the loot. That's the hook. Give me the loot. Give me the loot. I'm a bad man. That's horrible. I loved it. So listening to it, and I'm getting loud. I'm getting rambunctious. I'm getting excited and all that stuff. And my mother says, hey, turn the music down. right? How many of y'all have kids? You have kids? You have kids that are old enough to be listening to music too loud? Okay, not yet. It's coming. Don't worry. It is coming, and they will be mouthing all. Anyway, so I was like, yes, Mom, my bad, whatever. But my mom did not see this young lady, and she did not understand my plans. So I kept listening to it over and over again. I had to have something to talk about. And I transformed into a thug. Not proud to say it. It just happened. That night I transformed. I was running around. I was acting crazy. I was, give me the loot. I was robbing somebody. My poor wall was the victim. But anyway, it was horrible. And I kept getting loud. I grew up with 2 sisters in the house. And so my room was right next to my sister. I heard a woman's voice say, hey, shut that stuff off. Thought it was my sister. So I responded as a sibling would respond to a sibling, like, you shut up. Who you think you talking to? But it was my mama. So what did I say? I transformed into a thug. He died that night. He died that night. My mom slapped me so hard. I still remember getting slapped. And she doesn't remember it, which is kind of hurtful. But she slapped me so hard. I cried. I did. I cried. And, so I tell you that story because I was inspired to do something. I had a feeling. Like whenever you have inspiration, there are feelings. Like, ooh, I could listen to this. Like, ooh, this young lady who I am crushing on is listening to this stuff that I would have never listened to on my own. And so I went to listen to it. And then I got another feeling from the music. It's like, ooh, I'm a gangster. No, I'm not a gangster at all. Not even close. I'm much more Carlton than Will, all right? For those of you that get the Fresh Prince reference, all right? So it just didn't happen like that. But we have to be mindful of what goes into our mind and what feeds our feelings. Because our feelings can lie to us. And we also have to understand as leaders how we help promote positive feelings and inspire other people. And so we have to learn how to be people that lead people to good feelings. Because the world is going to do the opposite. The world is going to make us afraid. The world is going to make us hesitant to go after our dreams. The world is going to put pennies everywhere. And so we, in this room, have to learn how to inspire people for the good. Inspire good feelings. Here's one way to do it. One way. Just use the illustration, the analogy that I gave you. Just an opposite. We all have really, really good music that we listen to. Really, really upbeat, positive music. Just play that. Play that. One thing that I often do when I speak to students, whether they be Upward Bound, educational talent search, I always do some kind of music challenge during the presentations. I'll have some music playing and I say, hey, anybody that can guess this, I'll give them, whatever I have, like a $5 bill, a book or something. Like, hey, who wants to play? Name that tune. And it's amazing how many of them know old music. And then I'll say, hey, give me some of your music. Sometimes that's a mistake, but it's a learning exercise. Like, so what types of thoughts and feelings do you have from listening to this? What types of thoughts and feelings do you have from listening to that? So that's just one way that you can inspire good feelings. Just play good music, all right? So that's the I. The M stands for motivation. I love motivation. But here's a secret. You know this. You're grown-ups. You know this. I don't know if you articulate this, but you know this. You cannot motivate anybody. You can't get anybody to do anything they don't want to do. Where are the parents at again? Where are the parents? Oh, that was the worst revelation of my life. These little humans that I'm responsible for being here don't listen. They don't listen. And as they get older, you think, all right, well, they'll eventually, it's worse. Gosh, it's crazy. So if somebody that you feed, that you love, that you help survive this world, if you can't motivate them, so how are you going to motivate another person? So here's what we have to do, though. See, motivation is about your vision. Inspiration is about your feelings. The way you help motivate somebody is you show them the vision that they want to see. Because even though we can't motivate people, we can show them what they want. Oh, you want that? Cool. Here's the path to get that. And then it's up to them. But you have to continually do that. Especially, how many of you work with students? You work with students, you have to continually show them that. You can't just say, all right, a degree is good because of this reason. All right, you got it. No, no. Because even though you do that, you know that, they're going to see little rapper Bucci Child talk about how they never got, it's probably a real name, I have no idea, but how they got millions of dollars without finishing high school. You're going to see all that foolishness. Oh, Bill Gates, he didn't get a college degree. He's Bill Gates, and he dropped out of Harvard. It's a difference. It's a difference. Mark Zuckerberg, he didn't go to college. Well, you don't know that his parents were well-to-do, and he had a whole company before he left. Like, there's different nuances people try to put into our students' minds. You don't need this. You don't need that. We just have to help show them the vision that they want. And if you know anybody that lacks motivation, those who lack motivation, they've just yet to see the potential of their future. So we have to help show them the potential of their future. We have to help show them this is what it could look like. Wouldn't that be great? That's what we have to do. Motivation. It's really important. And also, we have to show ourselves the same thing for us. Because people model more than they listen. You can be saying something, but if you're doing something, they're going to go with what you're doing. So if you say to them, oh, you can go for your dreams, but you're sitting there looking like you don't want to be there, the audio doesn't match the video. They're going to go with the video every single time. So there are 4 levels of communication. I'm going to say this really quickly because I know we have to move. So I'm going to put this up here and we're going to talk about them. And the reason why I put this up here is because with the 4 levels, communication is key. Communication is the thing that makes us successful. All right. The only way we can get these words out to people is to communicate. So first is mass communication. Mass communication, like the media, all that. That's the first level of communication. Up until recently, most people have not been able to contribute to mass communication. Now, how many of y'all are on social media? Be honest with me. Couple of you are writing, but I know you're on social media. At least you look at it. Like my dad, he doesn't really post stuff, but he's always looking at stuff. So that's mass communication. If you put out the wrong thing or the right thing, it can be seen by millions and millions of people. So mass communication, that's important when we're talking about communicating motivation, because mass communication drives institutional conversations. Mass communication drives institutional conversations. So if there's a mandate, it goes out to everybody. Hey, this is what the government is doing. This is what people are doing. That goes out to everybody. Then there's public communication, which is what we're doing now. Basically, public communication is usually one source to a group. Public communication is powerful, and as we go through the levels, the more intimate the level is, the easier it is and the better it is to communicate motivation. So public communication rather, you can like, hey, oh wow, that's a pretty cool illustration. That was a pretty cool analogy. I remember that. Or I remember that you said that and it made me think about this. That's great. And plus you usually know or you usually can meet the person with public communication. With mass communication, where do the news stories come from? It's like, yeah, they observe it, but then they have to tell it to somebody else to let it go out. With public communication, you meet that person. Your professor, your pastor, you meet that person usually, you know them. Interpersonal communication, that's where you have conversations one-to-one with human beings. Conversations are so powerful. It's so much better to communicate motivation interpersonally. Because if I look you in your eye and say, I see something in you, you're like, oh, me? Me? What? Our souls talk to each other. And you can feel that. Especially our students, they can feel that. Because a lot of times their parents or their guardians, they don't have the opportunities to really take the time to pour into them. And that's our job. And then intrapersonal communication is what we say to us. What do you say to you when you look in the mirror? What do you say to you when you lose your keys? When you lose your phone, but it's in your hand? When you lose your glasses, but they're on top of your head. Like, what am I doing? Think about that. We talk to us more than we talk to anybody else. And so we have to be very, very mindful of that. It leads motivation. Now, purpose. How much time do I have? How much time? Okay, we got a little bit of time. Woo, everybody say purpose. I'm gonna move over here. Y'all good? I think y'all are good. I'll be back. So, purpose. I could do a 4-day workshop on purpose. Literally. We don't have that much time. But I'm going to give you some questions that you can answer, and it's going to lead us to our purpose. I remember when my mentor, I'm 22, just graduated from college, which means I thought I knew everything, which actually meant I knew nothing, right? And he was tough on me. And I would meet at his house. If I did not have any questions, he would tell me to leave. He would say, questions lead us to, or they put us on a quest for something. The better questions you ask yourself, the better your life will be. If you don't have questions, Odell, that means you're not thinking. And so I got 5 questions. There was a gentleman by the name of Dr. Miles Monroe. He was my mentor's mentor. So it was really cool. Unfortunately, he passed away in a plane crash in 2014. But one of his last sermons, he talked about the 5 greatest questions in the world. And so I'm just going to share kind of like my remix of that. I want you to write down these questions. I want you to answer these questions for yourselves. I want you to give these questions to other people. Like, this is really important. That's why I said I could do a whole 4-day thing on this, all right? So I'm going to go through each question quickly, and then I'm going to touch on the ones that we can touch on. So I'm going to put the boat here for those of you that are on Zoom, or those of you that are, writer-downers, or however you want to do it. So go through it really quick. First of all, the first question is, who am I? The second question is, where am I from? Go ahead. The third question is, why am I here? The fourth question is, what am I capable of doing while I'm here? And how will I be remembered to those I was assigned to? So those are the questions. So first, who am I? That is a very difficult, philosophical, deep, heavy question. If I were to ask you today, who are you? I got your name, but who are you? What would you say? Just a couple people, no wrong answers. What would you say? I'm a Christian. Mother. Hey, genius. No, yay. Sorry.
I'm light.
You're what?
Light.
Light? Light?
Light energy. Light.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say fair skin light. Like, well, depends on who you ask. Light? Who are you? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I was like, I didn't know. Thank you. So when a lot of times we're answering the question, who am I? We identify like our markers and identify like our religions and different things like that. I want to help guide you to answer this question and to help other people answer this question. Who am I? Think about who you are responsible for and who you're accountable to. So if somebody said mother, that means that you are responsible for your children. You're responsible for them. And so as a mother, there are certain things that you would do than if you weren't a mother, right? So our identity helps shift our activity. So when you know who you are, then you know, here's what you can do. Like, I'm a father, I'm a husband. So there's certain things that husbands should do that non-husbands shouldn't if they want to be good husbands, et cetera, et cetera. And so think about that. And as we're talking to our students, you're like, who am I? Like, what are you responsible for? Who are you accountable to? Who am I? Identity. Identity, it shapes our activity. The second question, where am I from? First thoughts if I asked you that. Where are you from? What would you say? Just really quick. Puerto Rico. Hey. Grand Rapids. Shaw City. Where are you from? Y'all not proud of where y'all from. Do I have to come back over here? Gosh, darn it. Where are you from? Tejas.
Puerto Rico as well.
Hey, Puerto Rico. Anybody else from Puerto Rico? We got 3 people? Just 2? All right, it's cool. I have one of my best friends' wives from Puerto Rico. So here's the help with guiding this question. Where am I from? Think about your genealogy. Think about your genealogy. And think about who your God is. Where am I from? Your source. So if you rock a religion, spirituality like that, you can think about who your God is. If not, or even if you do, think about who raised you. Because a lot of that, it hits our deep-seated beliefs. Like, where am I from? Like, my dad, military guy, super paranoid, trust issues. I grew up with some of that, right? So I understand that because that's where I'm from. Like, we are a product of who raised us to a degree. So think about that. Why am I here? That's the purpose question. That's the purpose question. Why am I here? This is what Odell thinks. This is what Odell believes. This does not reflect the thoughts, the ideas, and the vision and mission of MyCap and any trio affiliates. All right? This is just what Odell thinks. I believe that your purpose in life is to give the world a glimpse of heaven by what you do, what you have, and who you are.
Yes.
That's what Odell believes, all right? Your job here, occupying space here, is to help make the world better. What's interesting about that is that the world is not always everybody outside of where we are. Usually the world starts in here and it goes to our inner circle and then everybody else. So how can we make those around us better, the people that we work with better? How can we do that? The fourth question, what am I capable of doing? Human potential is what? Limitless. It's unlimited. Human potential. If anybody in here, you got to know or meet your great-grandparents, depending on when you were born, when they were born, there was a group of people that we're not too far removed from that did not believe flying was possible. There's some people in our lives that still won't get on an airplane. It's like, I don't need that. Birds fly. But they put spaceships out. And we're not going to talk about where they go and all that stuff, but I know they put them out there. They go out there. And so how do we go from that? Human potential is unlimited. So what are you capable of doing while you're here? Because the thing that we know about time is limited, time is weird. Because as we get older, it goes faster sometimes, except if you're on the treadmill. It goes really slow. It's weird. Like, time is really weird. But you have to think about your potential, what you're capable of doing. And then lastly, how will you be remembered by those who you were assigned to? This is critical. Like, this is mission critical. There are people you were assigned to. How many people in here know every single person in this room by name? Anybody? Anybody? Nobody? No? You're assigned here. You're assigned here. Meet somebody. Who's met somebody they've never met before? Oh, see, look at that. Already. They could be a friend, they could be a colleague, they could be a confidant, they could be an ally, they could be anybody. And so we're assigned to certain people. Like, you were located in this location in the world for some reason. So how will you be remembered by those you were assigned to? You answer these questions, your life's going to be so much better. But also you can help other people answer these questions for themselves. You don't have to come out and just say, hey, what are you capable of doing while you're here? Like, you don't have to be like that. But just think about, like, is this all that you're capable of doing? That's what I ask my kids whenever they do stuff. It's like, is this all you can do? Sometimes they lie to me and say, yeah. No, it's not all you can do. So we all know that. And so if you ask yourself better questions, you lead yourself to your purpose. And then the A stands for action. Everybody stand up really quick. We're almost done, y'all. We're almost done. Y'all are saying amen, okay. Y'all are saying, okay. Go a little bit faster. All right, raise your hands again if you've met somebody that you've never met before. Raise your hands. All right, Brett, keep your hands up if you know everybody at your table. If you know everybody at your table, you know everybody at your table. Yes. All right, good. All right, good. Well, we're gonna go a little bit deeper. It's gonna be really quick. Just you can stay at your table and do this. We're gonna ask 3 questions. How many questions? 3 questions. 3 very, very simple questions. Everybody has a name tag, right? Okay. So first, ask people where their name came from, if they know, if they have a cool story about it. Second question, ask them their favorite movie. Third question, ask them their favorite show. All right? So where they got their name from, not just, so what's your name? Ashley. So I'm just giving you an example. So Ashley, how'd you get your name?
I was supposed to be an Anthony.
You're supposed to be an Anthony. All right, well, there's a lot of different ways we could go with that, but hey, you're Ashley, so that's great. Your favorite movie is?
Oh man, I don't even know.
First one that pops into your mind.
I know. Oh, I hate this question.
Well, see, I'm allowing y'all to get ready with your answer because, like, oh, so many movies.
Do you have more of a genre? Like,
Yeah, sure.
Okay, like scary or deep movies.
Yeah,
definitely.
scary movies.
Yeah.
All right, did you see the new Scream?
No.
See, what you doing? You
I'm
slipping?
too young
No, I'm just
for
playing.
that.
I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you. Third question, a show that you watch that I should binge.
Ozark, right?
Hey, I need to catch up. Just like that, do it really, really quick. Find somebody at your table. Go. Right now, at your table, so you don't have to leave. Go, at your table. Booyah shaka. All right. Who has a new BFF? Anybody? No? So from where you are, I want to take a couple people. Just a couple people. I'm going to pick 2 tables randomly. They still talking. They're like, hey, girl, did you see season 9? It was incredible. Are there any Office fans in here like to show The Office? Where my people at? Y'all my people. All 5 of you. You like The Office? Hey, cool. All right. So from this table over here, I just want to hear one show. Just one show that you heard of. The Office? I love The Office so much. I rewatch The Office once a year. Just, I have to.
As you should.
Favorite character, really quick. Dwight. Pam. Cool. I love it. The Office. Who has not heard of The Office Who has not heard of The Office? You haven't watched it? Well, that's fine. But what show did you hear about, or what show did you share?
Okay, the courtship.
The Courtship.
It's very romantic, and it's like The Bachelorette with taste.
The Bachelorette with Taste.
Yeah, and it goes to England.
Oh, cool. So it's like a reality TV show?
It's reality.
Oh, okay, cool. Somebody said Bridgerton?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, listen, that's my. I haven't caught up yet because I've been on the road, and you know when you're watching something with your spouse, if you watch it without them, that's like cheating basically. Like you can't do that. So Bridgerton, y'all seen it all the way through yet?
Yes.
I'm waiting. I'm building up. It's good, right? It's so good. So here's why I have people do that exercise all the time. Because you learn things about people. Maybe it's a commonality. Maybe it's, oh, this is new information. This is something that I can get and I can use. And so it's very, very critical to learn things about people because it helps you. Because when you learn things about people, then you know what to do for people to help them. And I love this quote by Mark Twain. He said, after it's all said and done, a lot more would have been said than done. People talk, people don't take action. So Mark Twain, we have to be the people that not only take action, but move people to action. And so the law of diminishing intent, how many of you have heard of it before? If you haven't heard of it before, I'm here to tell you about it. Law of diminishing intent basically says this, that as we go on, desire loses its value. So as time goes on, desire loses its value. So if you don't do something right away, your desire to do that thing, it'll wane. Oh, Odell, I'll send you an email later. No, you won't. Because especially now, we have so many different things distracting us. Or somebody, I know we got a couple of people that pray in here. It's like, oh, I pray for you. That's the prayer, usually. Because they forget the law of diminishing intent. And so we have to make sure that we don't let that sit with us, that we don't do that. So if you know something is good, go do it right away. When? All right, see. Right away. Thank you. Gosh, I'm gonna get y'all. We're almost done, but I'm gonna still get y'all. You're cool, for sure. And I love this quote. This is a quote that I remember where I was when I saw this quote, and I love to share those types of things. You're the same person today that you'll be in 5 years, with the exception of two things: the books you read and the people you meet. The books you read, and that can be updated to the shows you watch, the music you listen to, the podcasts you listen to, all the stuff that you take in. You're the same person today that you'll be in 5 years, with the exception of those two things. And so we have to be very, very intentional about what goes in here. So the action that you have to take is what goes in here helps you get over there, wherever over there is. So think about where you want to go. But also, as I'm giving you these things, we have to be able to properly display and communicate these things. So what actions are you taking? What actions are you taking? What are you doing right now? Who are you meeting? This is really cool. What I love about Trio, especially pre-pandemic, you know, the college tours and all those different things. And so it's super important and critical that you're able to give students that experience, but you're also able to experience that for yourself. That's why everywhere I go, have books. I gave everybody, I think everybody got one. If you didn't get a book, just let me know. I have a couple extras. Refuse to lose everywhere I go. And network determines net worth. So it's something that my mentor told me. He said, Odell, if you want to be a millionaire, guess who you should be friends with? Millionaires. The challenge with that is that most millionaires are friends with millionaires. So if you're not a millionaire, getting into that club is different. And this is why I love telling younger people that they have superpowers. Because I was fortunate. I met my mentor right after I graduated college. So he was like, oh man, I can help you. It's like once you start getting older, you get a beard, your hair thins a little bit. They're like, you should have life figured out. Get out of my way, peasant. Like that's how it is sometimes. So With our students, what we can help them do is use that superpower. They can get into rooms that even we can't get into because they're young. And so if we start letting them know, hey, meet these types of people, allow these people, you should be pushing your students to LinkedIn, like pushing them to LinkedIn. Set up a LinkedIn profile. Y'all are getting professional headshots and all that stuff like that. Have all those things in line so you can lead your students there, because that's where their future is. And don't just collect connections, build relationships. The people that you're meeting here, build connections, but also build relationships. It's super important. And this is the last thing I'll say before we start closing up. The only thing in life that should be separated by color is laundry. That's the only thing. So we have to be very intentional and understand that diversity, equity, and inclusion is an advantage. It's not a burden. It's an advantage. Especially this generation, oh gosh, they're all for it, but we have to help guide them in the right direction so they can meet people that don't look like them, that don't speak like them, that aren't from where they're from, in the right light. And the C in impact stands for courage. I'm going to give you these really quick 4 ways to have courage. Sacrifice. Sacrifice is the ability to give up something you like for something that you love. Sacrifice is the ability to give up something you like for something that you love. We have to consistently practice that. Also, we have to ask questions. We have to get really good at asking questions. I gave you a few that you can start asking, but get really, really good at asking questions. The best question that you can ask in different situations is, so what do you want? Now, this is not if you're trying to go out to eat. It's the worst question you can ask. So many options. But ask them, like, what do you want out of the situation? If you're ever having a spat with somebody or anything like that, you're trying to negotiate with somebody, figure out what they want. And very quickly figure out, okay, I can get it for you, I can give it to you, or I guess this isn't going to work out. Or maybe it'll work out at another time. Have the courage to do that. Have the courage to be yourself. Have the courage to be you. It's very difficult. Be you. And then lastly, have the courage to fail. Something that's worth going after, because it's not about the destination, it's about the process. So have the courage. We lack courage in this world in a lot of ways. So we have to be the ones that are courageous, intelligently, and move forward that way. And lastly, the T in impact stands for transformation. So we are all in a process of being, right? We're human beings, not human bin. We continue, we move forward, we change. We just have to be intentional about how we're going to change. If I said to everybody looking at this, what's that on the screen? What is that, everybody? What is that? Hey, a future butterfly. That's right. That's right. A caterpillar and a butterfly, they're very different, but they start as the same. We're all different. I love this quote by Benjamin Franklin, and I'm going to close with a story. Life's tragedy is that we get old too soon, but wise too late. We get old too soon, but wise too late. And I would add an additional tragedy to that is that once we realize that we're wise too late, that we don't share the wisdom. We got to share the wisdom. Like, we can't use it all. Share the resources. Share it all. In context, in helpful context, because you don't share it all, obviously, but to help your students, educational, to help your colleagues professionally, share it. Doesn't matter. We're all in this together, or at least we should be. And here's the story. I graduated. I was a good student. I finished 8th in my class out of 400 students. Originally I got a scholarship to go to NC State. And so my parents were proud. So proud. My first baby. All that stuff. Going to college. My dad said, son, I have a surprise for you. I still remember the phone call. Son, I got a surprise for you. Congratulations. Da, 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 da. If you're 18, What kind of surprise are you expecting before you go to college? A car, right? I'm dating myself a little bit, but a cell phone with minutes, unlimited minutes. I said I'm dating myself a little bit. Some of y'all remember those minutes. Free after 7 or 9, depending on your network. So that's what I was expecting. This joker took me to a graveyard. And I'm like, okay, maybe there's like a car around the corner and he's, son, you have died as a boy and now you arise as a man. I don't know. I'm confused. We're walking around, but he made it plain for me really quick. We came upon this tombstone. Now, my name is Odell Bizzell. That freaked me out first thing. And a couple of y'all was like, what? Wait a minute. Yes. So I'm named after my grandfather. He died when he was 45. He was an alcoholic. Never got to meet him. My dad was really young when he passed, so he really didn't know his father that well. And the surprise was my dad showing me that, but also telling me why he named me after my grandfather. And he said, I named you after my father, your grandfather, because when you came out, I felt something in my spirit say that this is Odell Bizzell's second chance at being great. So you have the opportunity, you have the potential, be great, but you got to recognize at every level you will need help. At every level there is somebody that's going to help you make an impact. Seek out that person. Hit me like a ton of bricks. And so at every level, when I went to college, I was like, okay, who's the person? Who's the person? Who are the people? When I graduated, all right, I'm at this jail. Gosh, well, who are the people? Who are the people? And so I encourage you, you're the person for somebody. But also, you. Make sure you find that person. And if you have found them, give them their flowers now. Because we're all transforming. It's a picture of my grandparents. My grandma's 90, she's still alive. It's a picture of my parents, obviously. But you're experiencing right now my transformation. Like from a boy to a man, to a husband, to a servant, to a speaker, a father. You're experiencing that right now. But all of that took a lot of time. And so give yourself grace. Show yourself love. Show of hands, how many of you got at least one thing out of what I said this morning? You got at least one thing. I love it. Thank you so much. Here's what I ask. I do this. This is what I do. I'm grateful and fortunate and blessed to do this. If you could, for those of you that can, if you could scan the QR code and just take 2 minutes to give me some feedback on this presentation, it'll help 1,000%. And if you can't scan it for whatever reason, the Wi-Fi is wonky or your phone, you can go to thebesttriospeaker.com